You know, it's funny, isn't it? We get absolutely swamped with dating advice, all these techniques,
Oh,
strategies.
totally. Books, videos, courses. It's endless.
Right. And yet, this this really basic idea, just appreciating women, actually loving women, it feels like it's almost, I don't know, missed, overlooked.
It really does seem that way. Like the assumption is it's there, but maybe it's not the foundation people are building on. It suggests maybe we're focused too much on the surface stuff.
Exactly, and that's what we're getting into today. For you, the learner, we know you like to get straight to the heart of things, see different sides, and have those aha moments without, getting bogged down.
Quick, deep, and insightful. That's the goal.
We've been looking at this source, The Gentleman's Guide to Effortless Seduction. And interestingly, the author dedicates it to the women who helped him learn. That kind of sets a different tone right away, doesn't it?
It really does. It hints at like respect, maybe a journey of learning with them, not just about them. It's not your typical how-to guide vibe.
Yeah. So our mission here is to pull out the big ideas from this guide for you, to give you maybe a different angle on connecting, on attraction, something that's hopefully more about genuine connection than just tactics.
Right. Moving beyond the playbook.
Now, look, the title, Effortless Seduction. We get it. It might raise an eyebrow or two.
Sure, it's a strong title.
But we want to be clear, we're focusing on the principles of authentic connection that the author lays out.
Oh,
Okay, so let's jump into that core idea, this overlooked thing of just loving women.
okay.
He asks this question point blank. Do you love women? It sounds, well, obvious, maybe.
Almost too simple, yeah. Like, why wouldn't you if you're interested in dating them?
But he argues it's hardly ever actually asked, not really considered in the whole dating advice world.
Which makes you think, why not? Is it just assumed?
Mhm.
Or is there something deeper he's getting at than just, basic attraction?
I think so.
Yeah.
He tells this story about a client, Darren. This guy knew all the techniques, apparently. He could, recite them.
Right, he'd done his homework.
Yeah, but nothing. No results. It just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the author asked him straight up, Darren, do you love women? That things started to shift.
Wow. And what was Darren's reaction?
Apparently he was hesitant. Like, well, yeah, of course, but maybe he hadn't really thought about it, felt it.
That hesitation is telling, isn't it? It's like the difference between knowing something intellectually and really feeling it, embodying it.
Exactly. And the author contrasts Darren's mindset, which was all, what do I have to do so she'll like me?
Yeah, yeah. Focus on getting something. Performance-based.
With his own feeling, which
Yeah.
he says is more like, I want to share her beauty with her. It's a total flip from taking to giving.
That's a fundamental shift in perspective, sharing beauty versus extracting approval.
He describes his own appreciation for women as this really intense, daily thing.
Yeah.
Physical, energetic, spiritual. He gets specific.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like the way they walk, the feel of their skin, their hair, how they smell, their playfulness, their laugh. It's this really deep, almost devotional appreciation.
That specificity, it shows a real attention, doesn't it? Not just a general, I like women, but a noticing of the detail.
Totally. And that ties into his point about approaching to give and celebrate her beauty. Not to take something. No expectations, just appreciation.
Okay, so how does that not come across as needy? Or, putting them on a pedestal in a weird way?
Well, he uses this analogy of eating a fantastic meal.
Okay.
When you genuinely love the food, you might say, wow, this is amazing. You're not being needy, you're just expressing genuine enjoyment.
Right. You're just reacting honestly to the experience.
He argues it's the same thing. Genuine appreciation, that depth love he talks about, comes from a place of fullness, not lack. So it feels different. It's enthusiasm, not neediness.
That makes sense. The source of the appreciation matters. Is it coming from you feeling good and wanting to share, or from you needing something back?
Exactly. So the learner, maybe pause and think for a second.
Sure.
How does your genuine appreciation for people, anyone, actually change how you interact with them? Does it shift the energy, something to mull over?
Definitely. Okay, so moving on from that foundation of love, where does he go next?
He starts talking about moving beyond just techniques and into something he calls masculine intent. It's presented as sort of the next level of understanding.
Masculine intent. Okay, sounds intentional. What does that involve?
Well, first, he's kind of critical of relying too much on things like dating apps or clubs, or even just being alone too much. He sees them as a bit unnatural, maybe detrimental for men developing this intent.
So he's pushing against the common modern ways people meet or cope with not meeting?
Seems like it. His goal, he says, is to help men become raw, present, and powerfully sexy just by understanding and living certain principles. So lines and routines become, like, totally unnecessary.
Right, it's about the inner state, not the outer script. Less about doing sexy things and more about being a sexy man, from his perspective.
Exactly. And he gets personal here, too. Admits he used to be really insecure, used alcohol, drugs to kind of cope.
Oh, okay. That's quite candid.
Yeah, it makes it relatable, I think. But then he had this realization. His sensitivity, being hyper-aware, things he thought were bad.
His weaknesses.
Yeah, he realized they were actually his biggest strengths for connecting with women. He just had to learn how to use them differently.
That's a powerful reframe. Turning perceived flaws into assets through self-awareness.
And this leads him to this idea of the completed man.
Hmm.
It's all about doing the inner work, self-reflection, tapping into genuine love and honesty. And he's really clear. This is not about manipulation.
So becoming complete first within yourself is the key before you can truly connect authentically.
That seems to be the core message. And then he dives into his view of pure masculine energy.
Okay, how does he define that?
He describes it as, let me get this right, nothingness, emptiness, the observer. Strong, grounded, with purpose.
Nothingness, emptiness. That sounds a bit zen. Or maybe detached.
Yeah, maybe emptiness isn't the best word out of context. I think he means less about being empty of feeling and more about being a grounded, observing presence. Not easily rocked, maybe. A stable force.
Okay, like a calm center. As opposed to
feminine energy, which he describes as motion, emotion, love, and compassion. He sees them as like complementary opposites.
polarity. Okay, that's a common theme in some circles.
Right. But he worries that these roles are getting blurred and that masculinity gets misrepresented. He's particularly critical of the stereotypical alpha male, says it's often just insecurity.
So he's not buying into the chest-thumping alpha model.
No. He proposes a different ideal. The Renaissance man.
Okay, the Renaissance man. What makes him different?
This guy embraces his masculine energy. He's authentic. He's direct about his intention. The author boils it down to honestly saying, I am a man. You are a woman. I want you. But crucially, he offers freedom to women. It's not about control.
So clarity and confidence, but also respect for her autonomy. That's the balance he's aiming for.
It seems like it. Now, he uses the term nice guy, and we need to be really careful here.
Okay, because nice guy can mean different things.
Totally. He's not talking about being genuinely kind. He means the insecure guy, often stuck in the friend zone, who's maybe driven by self-loathing, needs validation. That kind of niceness, which isn't really nice, it's strategic.
The covert contract. Nice guy. Nice in order to get something.
Exactly that. He contrasts that strongly with genuine love and respect.
Got it. That distinction's important.
And here's a really key insight, I think. He says a man's relationship with his own emotions reflects how he relates to female energy.
Interesting. So if you're shut off from your own feelings...
You'll likely struggle to connect with or understand feminine emotional energy. He argues that emotional openness, vulnerability, that's actually strength, and that's attractive.
That definitely pushes back against the old strong, silent type stereotype. Suggests emotional intelligence is key.
Yeah. So the learner, again, maybe reflect on your own comfort level with authenticity, with vulnerability. How does that show up for you in your connections? Worth thinking about.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got love as a foundation, this idea of authentic masculine intent. What about the actual interaction?
Right. This leads into his ideas about the illusion of control and the massive importance of just being present.
Ah, presence. That comes up a lot in different contexts.
Totally. He suggests attraction isn't really a conscious choice someone makes about you. It's more tied to the emotional states you help create in her, mostly through your presence.
So it's less about your pickup line and more about the vibe you bring, the feeling you evoke when you're just there.
Pretty much. And his number one piece of advice, like the big takeaway for interactions, is simply be present. Just be fully there with the woman.
Why is that so crucial, in his view?
He talks about women being intuitive. You know, they can sense when you're not really there, when you're stuck in your head worrying or planning. And that lack of presence just kills the connection, kills spontaneity.
Makes sense. If you're not present, you can't really connect with the person who's present right in front of you.
And forget trying to be cool. He basically throws that out the window.
Oh, really? No need to act aloof.
Nope. He says authenticity is what matters. Just being you right now.
Yeah.
That's it. Stop performing. Just be.
That sounds liberating, actually. Less pressure to maintain some kind of facade.
Definitely. He also mentions comfortable eye contact, says it's a big signal of inner openness, confidence. A simple thing, but powerful.
Nonverbal cues speaking volumes.
Okay, and he brings back the Renaissance man idea here. Says this way of being present, authentic, it leaves the feminine energy feeling
Hmm.
refreshed and kind of naturally drawn in. It creates that polarity he mentioned.
So the presence itself creates the attractive dynamic, not some specific technique.
That's the idea. Now, he does have this pretty provocative opinion.
Oh.
He suggests that some women who come across as highly um, sexist or maybe strongly feminist in a certain way might actually be resentful underneath because they haven't found men who are strong and, well, willing to lead.
Wow. Okay, that is definitely a controversial take. Needs careful handling. He's suggesting some expressed views might mask a different underlying desire.
That seems to be his interpretation. It's definitely just one perspective and probably a contentious one.
Yeah.
He also says women will test men.
Ah, the tests. We hear about those. What's his angle?
Just that they do it, consciously or not, to see if a man is, well, solid, if he's genuine, if he has that grounded strength.
Checking for congruence, maybe. Does his walk match his talk?
Kind of, yeah. And this ties into his idea that men need to lead. But again, he's careful to say this isn't misogyny. It's about understanding a natural dynamic, providing direction, security.
Leading from a place of groundedness, not domination. It's a nuanced point he seems to be making.
And he encourages men to get out of their comfort zone, to offer women an emotional roller coaster.
Roller coaster, like intentionally creating drama.
Maybe not drama, but
Yeah.
not being boring. Offering a range of experiences, emotions, suggesting that steady predictability might not be as engaging as some emotional variants, maybe playfulness, challenge.
Okay, so stimulating emotions rather than just keeping everything flat and safe.
Right. And the Renaissance man, he says, does this from an inner knowing, not a script. It induces attraction subconsciously. He contrasts this with the common man who might leak or disperse sexual energy because he's uncomfortable or insecure.
Leaking energy. Interesting image, like nervousness dissipating the charge.
Yeah, something like that. Whereas the Renaissance man can generate, initiate, hold, and build that sexual energy. He creates a space, gives permission for her to explore it too.
So he's taking responsibility for the energetic dynamic, in a way.
That seems to be it. And he comes back to that idea of projecting her as more beautiful than she sees herself. Not with flattery, but genuinely seeing and reflecting her beauty from that place of deep love for the feminine we started with.
That act of seeing someone's potential or beauty and reflecting it back, that can be incredibly powerful.
He contrasts that with the devolved male, his term, who projects insecure neediness, wanting care from her.
Again, that taking versus giving dynamic.
Exactly. And he claims women need to be expressed through masculine energy, leading to sexual immunity to threat, a feeling of safety that allows deep connection.
That's a bold claim, a sense of profound safety created by the masculine presence.
That's his assertion. And finally, he stresses listening. Really listening to women's emotions, understanding they often live through emotion, but without taking it all on yourself. Don't try to fix it. Just be a medium for her expression. Maybe offer a different perspective, a new frame.
So empathetic presence, but maintaining your own center, not getting sucked into the emotional storm, but providing a calm harbor.
Beautifully put. Yeah, that's the essence. So the learner, think about your own experience with presence. When you're truly in the moment with someone, what changes? How does it feel? It's worth noticing.
Definitely. That presence piece feels universally applicable beyond just dating.
Totally. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Key takeaways for you, the learner. First, that foundational importance of genuinely appreciating, even loving women. Respect as the starting point.
Right, that bedrock of positive regard.
Second, embracing an authentic masculine energy, whatever that means for you, that comes from inner work, not just learning lines.
Being genuine, basically, understanding yourself.
And third, the huge power of just being present, fully there in the interaction, letting go of trying to control things.
Love, authenticity, presence. Seems to be the trifecta, according to this guide. And aimed at effortless connection, not forced results.
Exactly. So here's that final thought for you to chew on. Considering all this, how might shifting your internal focus, your intentions, how might that change your understanding of attraction and connection?
Yeah, really ponder that difference between going into interactions to take something versus going in to give or appreciate.
This deep dive, it's really just scratching the surface. These are big ideas for you to explore more through reflection, maybe just observing interactions around you.
It's about opening up to different perspectives, isn't it? Seeing what resonates.
Absolutely. And remember, you get to choose beliefs that empower you and then act in ways that feel truly authentic to who you are.
Well said. It's about finding your own genuine path through understanding these different viewpoints.